Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Emmanuel Kwizera. I'm from Rwanda. I'm based in Nairobi, Kenya. I work with a faith-based organization called African Enterprise as the International Missions Director. We have our offices in 10 countries in Africa, and we are very glad to partner with the American Bible Society through Trauma Healing Institute. Thank you very much for allowing me to share briefly what African Enterprise is doing in the area of trauma healing, especially reaching top leaders in Africa with the message of healing the wounds of trauma. As Reverend Antoine Rutayisire, the chairman of African Enterprise Rwanda and the former chairperson of Rwanda Leaders Fellowship and the National Unity and Reconciliation Commission, he said, "A wounded leader hurts his nation. Politics of revenge is always a sign of unhealed wounds in the heart of any leader. If nothing happens, the cycle of wars will continue in Africa." But I think it's not only in Africa, it's a big challenge for everyone and everywhere. African Enterprise believes that we are called to be the voice of peace and the healing of nations. Some of you might know the two pioneers in promoting peace and reconciliation in Africa, Michael Cassidy, the founder of African Enterprise, who had a great impact in the process of abolition of apartheid in South Africa, and Bishop Festo Kivengeri, the author of the book, I Love Idi Amin. I mean, some of you may know these two key people in Africa, who was a peacemaker in Uganda when Idi Amin was leading. Both had something in common. They believed unresolved conflict and unhealed wounds in Africa need to be addressed from the top to the bottom. And last but not least, one of the leaders in South Sudan said, "I was born in the war, schooled in a war, married in the war, and got elected during the war. If you touch me, I look my gun." I think some of you have been working in Africa, you may understand what I'm talking about, the trauma of the top leaders in our countries. So, since 2014, African Enterprise started organizing trauma healing workshops meant to reach decision makers, leaders, mostly in South Sudan, but also other parts of Africa. As I mentioned earlier, African Enterprise uses the following strategies to reach influential leaders in Africa, including top church leaders, pastors, and emerging leaders. So we use trauma healing trainings among the top leaders. We engage emerging leaders and youth students through trauma healing different initiatives. We do a lot of leadership development missions, and also we use presidential or national prayer breakfast initiatives. We do trauma healing community integration, which is a process to integrate survivors of trauma, both offended and offenders in the community after a process of healing. Please keep praying for us, especially for our programs, the new programs we have in South Sudan, in Rwanda, in Uganda, in Central African Republic, in Kenya. We are also committed to start the trauma healing program in South Africa, if possible, in Zimbabwe. Maybe you can visit our website if you want to know more about what we do. But let me just conclude saying that if you see the challenge we have in Africa, especially the refugee camps, if we don't do something for the top leaders, these refugee camps will continue to be their home, their permanent home. The cycle of conflict in Africa will continue if we don't do something for reaching top leaders. Thank you, Dr. Phil, for just addressing the issue of systems. I think top leaders, they are the key decision makers, and they are the most wounded, if you allow me to say so. Thank you so much. If you need to partner with us or to know more about what we do with top leaders, I will be very glad to give you more information. Thank you so much.